The topic of today's discussion will be focusing on immigration and integration. The integration of people with an immigrant background may be considering as a major challenge of our society. I am convinced that Germany may serve as a very interesting example with a view to these issues, as there have taken place political and legislative reforms of immigration and integration policy in our country in recent years, of which many national and international observers would not have believed that Germany might be capable to implementing such policies. Germany is changing. Everyday life in Germany has become incapable from the issue of integrating immigrants into society. More than ever in history, our country will be characterized by a variety of ethnic, cultural, social, and religious backgrounds. Already today, 1 out of 4 Germans have an immigrant background that remains part of the individual or family's identity. Across the generations, migrants need to be given better support in contributing their potentials and skills to society, as they longer feel they are a member of the society, the community, as long as their activities are valued and appreciate. Their motivation to open up and embrace their new home country will grow. Only if they feel accepted, they will feel at home. What we need is an integration policy with, rather than for, migrants. Integration policy is a job which extends across all ranks of government and political activities. The aim is to successfully drive forward the integration of migrants in all areas, from the earliest stage of education to elderly care. I would like to draw some attentions to the fact that integration policy is by one means limited to minorities. We will share the future. That is why we need to share the task of shaping it. The Federal Republic of Germany is a densely population country. Approximately 82 million inhabitants live there. Let us call the following facts. Describe a million-fold immigrants of so-called guest workers were referred to for a long time. Their relatives, ethnic German, late repatriated, resettled, and refugees since 1950s. The political elite of our country stuck definitely to the view that Germany is not an immigration country. Emphasis was laid again and again on following statements. Foreigners in Germany are not to be regarded as an immigrants at all, and the recruitment policy carried out from the 1950s until the 1970s could not be seen as an immigration policy due to the fact that only a stay for a limited period of time had been intended. It was also argued that resettled and ethnic German repatriations from Eastern Europe and former Soviet Union could be not subsumed under the definition of migrants, as these peoples are Germans, and those could not immigrated to their own country. It is therefore not an exaggeration to state that Germany has re-invited itself in the large extent in terms of its immigration and integration policies. Those that is indeed taken place, a real policy change. Bans on critical thinking were overcome and new political coalitions have been built. All drifts between an ideological laissez-faire multicultural policy on the one hand and an ideological denying of the fact of that immigration exists at all over have been leveled. Nowadays, it's possible to discuss the advantage and disadvantages of immigration across the various political camps. It is a definite way. Only the extremes on the left and the right wings are an exception in this discussion. The moderate discourse, both in terms of the tournament, there's a matter on one constitutional conditions of a practical political solution integrating our society as a whole. So, ladies and gentlemen, cut a long story short, a pragmatic turn has taken place in German immigrant and integration policy. I would like to show you, explain how this means. First of all, a new modern citizenship law entered into the force the 1st January 2000, which is detached from old, obsolete, ethnic, national ideas that had been ahead for a long time. Central elements of the ius soli were included in the law, those which view to citizens and naturalism policy, there may be started that Germany has made an approach to the model of classic countries of immigration. The law has far-reaching consequences. Nowadays, there is hardly more children born as foreign citizens. 19 of 20 children born in Germany are German citizens. We do need in Germany a culture of welcome. People who feel at home in our country should be their home here and consequently became German citizens. Second, since the 1st January 2005, Germany has become also a law and not just a de facto of immigrant countries. The new immigration law contains at the first time regulations and aimed at the targeted recruitment of highly skilled professionals and entrepreneurs. In the meantime, it has become an is a fact that there is a strong demand for skilled workers and highly qualified workforce in the export-oriented Germany. The expansion of qualified employment is a key in order to ensure permanently both performance and innovative capability of a national country. New immigrants are not left alone anymore after their entry, as it is used to be in the past, but are now receiving support in language and guardians courses. Anyone immigrant to Germany for the first time and without a command of a German language is entitled to a language training course of 900 hours in connection with the guardians course with 45 hours. The guardians course aims at providing the basic knowledge of Germany's legal system, as well as the history and culture. The intention of underlying such measures in so familiarize persons with an immigrant background with the living conditions in Germany, so much intense required to their baby and able to act independently in their own, those coping with all matters, affairs, and daily life with help intentioned of the third parties. We have massive attempts are made in order to promote the education of preschool children and primary school children in the early stage. Both the school and education system have turned a blind eye on immigrants for a quite long time. Many nursery schools and schools do not exist students who grew up with another language than Germany. But they have taken place positive changes in regards to. The new study shows that nowadays the language capability of all children is tested before they enter school in a nationwide level and aim whether they have a good command of German corresponding and their age or not. If they encounter difficulties, they will receive special support. By extensions concerning such measures is downward spiral consisting of a lack of German language command failed in the school career and professional exclusion may be avoided as a whole. 15% of persons with an immigrant background are leaving school without any certification or qualification. The quota of Turkish boys and Italian boys is much more higher than among the girls. It is in the interest of the children and their families, of the educational prospects for this group will be improved. However, it needs also be a central and vital interest of our society, of the German society, that these young people taking his future seriously. There are our children, there are our teenagers. All of us need to ensure that the potential of these young people are made for use to such a greater extent that this has been a case until now. Integration can be successfully reached by means of language and education. Therefore, it is one of the major objectives of the government for all children attending school have a sufficient command on German. It has finally been achieved that politics and immigrants talk to each other instead of talking about each other. And I'm convinced at following the dialogue held jointly by the parties involved in the first step towards successful integration. The 5 national integration summits which took place up and invited of the Federal Chancellor Angela Merkel may serve as an example. The dialogue is necessary, and it is more regrettable that we have not launched it much earlier. For so long, responsible politics in Germany have ignored the need and the interests of the persons with an immigrant background. Sometimes it even noticed was taken of them. These are peoples who come to our country over a period of more than 50 years and have been living among us in our society, have paid their taxes, have worked here, and maybe wish to build a house or start a family. Discussions are led on the highest level administration with the Muslim organizations. Between 3.8 and 4.3 million Muslims live in Germany, according to a study of the BMRF, given to a total population of some 82 million Muslims, according 4.6 or to 5.2%. Between 2.5 and 2.7 million have Turkish roots. Around 55% of the country's Muslim migrants are German nationalities. As citizens, they are entitled to vote and to run for elected office. Discussion between national administrative representatives and Muslim organizations whose like dialogues mentalists with the Christian church were only launched for a few days ago. These talks help reducing mistrustfulness of both sides. They also would have been unthinkable only a few years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the social cohesion of general and successful integration will be the importance of our future, of our society. However, to accept multicultural diversity is not simply that anything goes. For many years, a certain kind of misunderstood tolerance was associated with an artificial term of multicultural. Wherever conflicts arose, they were ignored by people who turned a blind eye on them. Integration is also characterized by the following conditions: the willingness of immigrants to become a part of our society, and their determination to succeed in the social advancement. Ladies and gentlemen, the simple coincidence cannot bring us forward without a minimum of community and commonness. A society will not successfully cope with diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, the fundament of our society must be a command on a German language and a common basis of values founded on the liberal democratic rule of law. This must be a binding obligation for all people living in Germany. Thank you for your attention.